Dear Aunt Flo is a podcast about bad periods, and I'm your host, Elisa Michelle. Every month, we'll dive deep into my own vaginal monologues as I discuss my journey with endometriosis and share stories that we wish someone would have warned us about sooner. I am your new period BFF, so let's get comfortable speaking about our cycles. Hello. Welcome back to another episode of Dear Aunt Flo. Hello, BFFs, my fellow Endo warriors, or my fellow period havers, however you identify yourself. Welcome to another catch-up episode. Right, I have not done a verbal disclaimer in a while, so please remember that I am not a doctor, okay? Although I know my body better than most of the doctors that I have encountered, I am not a doctor. With all that being said, my stories, all of my opinions are that of my own and for my own body. So don't come for my non-existent medical degree, y'all. Don't say that Elisa made you do this or that, okay? I'm speaking from my own experience, and I advise you to seek reputable and compassionate medical counsel. Always. Compassionate is key, okay? Because y'all know what it is. If you're new here, welcome to the period party. Whether you listen or watch, I hope that you interact with us. Share this with a friend. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe at Elisa_Michelle. Like our videos, comment. And I say our because if you guys are interacting in the comments, I want this to be a community, right? You're interacting with each other as well as myself. So this is a community for us to be safe and express how we feel, express what we're going through. If you are listening on Apple or Spotify podcasts, I invite you, I beg of thee, to leave a review. Take a few seconds, take a few minutes, leave us a review at Dear Aunt Flo. And you can also follow us on IG at dearauntflo.pod. All right, let's get into our letter for this episode. Dear Aunt Flo, I am at the point of trying almost anything to get you to stop attacking my body. From castor oil to slimy okra water. Sincerely fed up, Elisa Michelle. Yes, slimy okra water is the latest addition to our at-home remedies. More on that later. The last episode was about me no longer drinking alcohol. And I needed to get that episode out because it's already been 6 months since I started not drinking alcohol. So I needed to just get it out and share it with you. So this episode, we're taking it back a little bit so that we can play catch up. And there's much to discuss. All right. So what have I been up to since April? I think my last episode dropped April 1st. And that was a catch-up episode. And then this latest one dropped June. So yeah. For one, I started a new business accelerator program back in April. And that took up 10 weeks and a lot of extra time in between all of that. It was such a good program, though. I'm so glad that I did it because it completely got me out of the funk that this year brought me into since my January hospital stay. Body, my mind, my soul, it's been way off. So I needed that. And I'm glad that I did it. So with that, though, on that side of things, personally, I started acupuncture. I go consistently about every other week. It's been a great self-care outlet for me, and it's also helped stop the flare-up. So I don't know if you remember, but back in the end of January, February, and into March, I was experiencing the most debilitating pain that would shoot down my left thigh, groin area, and it was happening every day, twice a day for weeks on end, and it was unbearable. And since starting acupuncture, that has completely gone away. So I'm a bless up for that because I thought that I was going to have to endure that for like the foreseeable future, and I was not going to be okay with that. So yeah, I'm grateful for acupuncture for that. It also like really regulates my nervous system, and it's just such a peaceful experience. Like, I know you're getting pricked with needles, but you're literally just like lying in a very peaceful environment. The person who facilitates it gives great care, and I think that's mostly why I keep going. The only thing that I don't quite care for about the place that I'm going to is that it's not fully private. So there's 2 people to a room, even though you're separated, like you can't see each other or whatever. But if I'm getting my acupuncture first, someone else is coming in later, like in the middle of my rest and relaxation, or the opposite, right? They get theirs done first, they're in the middle of their rest and relaxation, and then I come in. And so like there's disturbance, right? And that's not great, but that's neither here nor there. And also, insurance does not make it easy to like just switch places because you have to go through so much to find a new spot. So anyway, I started acupuncture and it's been going really well. I also started therapy. Yay me. Because what the hell? I usually just vent to my husband, and I have the podcast as an outlet too, but I needed something deeper. Like, I honestly needed something deeper because I was dealing with shitty medical doctors and misinformation and talks of infertility and the reoccurring pain and like just everything else, right? So I looked into the Loveland Foundation. They offer free therapy options for Black women. If you have not looked into the Loveland Foundation, I highly, highly, highly recommend them. I went through therapy for Black girls to find my therapist, and y'all, the lady is Black. She has endometriosis, and I say has because even though she's had surgery and removed most of everything, like, it's a lifelong disease, right? It's not going anywhere. So she has endo, right? And she knows what I went through, am going through, will go through. Like, she can relate to me on that level. And like, what are the odds of that, right? And me going to therapy for the first time, finding a Black woman therapist. She knows like the ins and outs of endometriosis. Like, that's all God. You can't tell me otherwise. He be looking out. Okay, let's see what else. I have tried a bunch of holistic practices. So castor oil packs, CBD balms, fibroid cleanse. It's like this liquid. You take like a teaspoon every morning, every night. I've tried this concoction of like lemon juice, garlic. I think cayenne pepper was in there too. Okra water. I've re-upped on all my supplements. So I'm currently taking Quay. I always forget how to pronounce it, but it nourishes your blood. And then every time I like go in for acupuncture, they mention that, so they have you like stick your tongue out to see if it's white, if there's grooves on the side, because you might bite down on your tongue because it expands. But yeah, so my gut health is not the best, and it means that my spleen chi is off, and so that will help with that. Magnesium glycinate, magnesium malate, and magnesium citrate. So glycinate is good to calm your body, relax your body. Malate is good for bringing energy and giving you energy, and then the citrate pretty much just helps you poop. So if you're constipated, in need of a good session, you take that. So I really only take that during my cycle week. I don't need it otherwise. And then of course there's herbal teas like red raspberry leaf or nettle leaf tea. I've also been doing like a dandelion root tea, or like a mix of like a bunch of things. They're like womb teas, I guess you can call them, but I don't know like all of the different herbs that are in there, so I'll check back with you on that one. So I've been trying a lot of like different holistic practices. I want to say that they've been helping. Okay, we'll come back. All right, so since my last MRI, which was the end of March, my giant 8 centimeter cyst is gone. Like she gone. Like she's just not there no more. I still, however, have like multiple smaller cysts, fibroids, and now fluid in my tubes. And I say that plurally, but I don't actually know for sure because neither do the doctors. So this is where it gets tricky, right? Because I've been getting like different opinions from doctors. One said that both tubes are affected and will have to be removed. The other doctor said maybe one tube is affected, or actually maybe it's just one ovary. We're not really sure. And so like, I don't know what to do with that information. Basically she told me that she was going to go in, remove either the tube or the ovary because they don't do the drainage. That's just not what they do at that practice. And if she does that, then they'll work on getting me pregnant, but they're not going to tend to the other issues like all of the endo that's in my rectal and colon area, or all the endometriosis that's like surrounding my uterus as a whole. They're only going to focus on the tube and the ovary that may or may not be affected. And that doesn't sit right with me because like all of this endo is causing me all of these issues. Like, why would you leave it there? So like, say you do remove these things and it clears up the way for sperm to reach the eggs, right? And I get pregnant. Now I have a baby and I'm still writhing in pain and I can't take care of this child. So that I don't want. And I don't understand why doctors are so lenient or careless. I feel like that's a proper word, like careless enough to say we're only going to do this and not do the entirety of what's affecting you. Like, would that sit right with you? Because it doesn't sit right with me. And also, I don't like to be told what I can and can't do. I don't like for people to tell me what my body can and cannot do. So I'm going to do what I can do to rewrite my story. And that's on that. Anyway, I was also able to have a few like girl chats. Well, we found out, because we follow each other, that we both have endometriosis, and we were able to swap war stories essentially. And she also introduced me to an endo specialist out here in San Diego, and I was able to talk with someone who had fibroids and went through a surgery, and she introduced me to some practices out here that she uses that have helped her over the years. And like, that was a blessing to me, because I'm like, I feel like we should be able to share not only our stories and our war stories and our pain, but also the joy of things, right? Like, if you've had surgery, sharing who the surgeon was that did your surgery, so that someone else isn't taking years on end to find someone who is competent enough to do what needs to be done. So I'm grateful for that. And I actually have a consultation set up for later this month. And I'm hoping, my hopes are very high. I will try to taper them as much as possible. This specialist that's here in San Diego was recommended by two people so far. And so I'm trusting that this is the route that God will have me to take. I hope that the consultation goes well. I hope that she's able to give me answers and a path forward. So pray over my bank account because these medical bills are no joke. So yeah, overall, I've just been trying to get back to a normal, I guess a new normal. I am back to consistently working out and just trying to live my life. You know, it's too short not to. And I want to be able to do things and hang out with my friends and go out with my husband and just feel good about my body and good about myself. And it's definitely a day-by-day process, but God talks me through it every single day. And while I may not be fully back to myself yet, this version of me is definitely better than January, February, March version of Elisa. And I'm praying that this next consultation will give me better answers so that I know how to continue moving forward and continue living my best life. So yeah, that's what's been going on with me. I'd love to hear from you if you have any questions, if you have any topics that you want me to cover. Maybe you want me to dive deeper into what I've been doing, the holistic practices that I've been doing, the fibroid cleanser I could talk about. I don't know if that's what helped get rid of the cyst. I don't know if the castor oil packs helped get rid of the cyst, but she gone. And I still have smaller ones, but the big one is gone. That was the main cause of all of my issues. So yeah, let me know if you have any random at-home remedies that you've been using for your period journey. Let's swap stories. May they not be war stories. May they be stories of joy and just overcoming all of this. I really hope the best for all of us, and I think there are good things ahead. So yeah, let's get into our affirmation for this episode, and then I'll catch you guys in the next one. Breathe and be well. So repeat after me. Breathe and be well. I love you. I see you. I hear you. Peace. Hey BFFs, thanks for tuning in to Dear Aunt Flo. If you enjoyed this episode and would like to show support, be sure to subscribe, rate, and review on Apple Podcasts. This will help more period BFFs find our community and add to the conversation. Follow on IG at dearauntflo.pod and let me know what topics you'd like to cover this season. Catch you in the next episode, period.